Hello and welcome everyone. Here is Patricia Misakian, founder of the Akashic Records Institute, and I am thrilled and honored for today's class where we are going to have a conversation about the pros and cons of having a bilingual business. So if you're here live, make sure to put all your questions in the comment below. And I want to thank everyone that sent the questions ahead. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the very important points for you to consider as you are thinking about having your business in 2 or 3 languages. More power to you. My business is in 2 languages. More power to you. If you wanted to do it in 3, good luck. But and my intention here is there is no right or wrong answer. But my intention with this live is to help you with my experience, which it is what it is. It is my experience. It's not my way or the highway. It is just the way that I went through. In my journey, I learned a lot. And my intention is here to share, the good and the bad and everything in between for you. And I really trust that this is going to support you where you are. So for those of you that are watching this live, if you are thinking about having a bilingual business, just put hashtag bilingual in the comments. I want to see you. I wanted to check in how you are and let me know what are your questions about having a bilingual business. If you already have, put hashtag already on it. And if you don't yet, just put hashtag considering. And we're going to, I'm going to be referring, and of course, if you have questions, please let me know. I'm going to be referring to your questions. And once again, big welcome. Little reminder, those of you that are watching us live, next week we start another powerful energetic business breakthrough workshop. The Energetic Business Breakthrough Workshop is a free 5-day workshop to align you with your unique gift so you can show up powerfully in your market, attract your ideal clients, and so much more. We are going to go deeper than ever because every time I deliver those workshops, as everyone that participates always let me know, and they are so glad they did it again. Sometimes when you do something for the first time, it's almost like you're not really getting the depth and the healing and the transformation that is available for you there. So I highly recommend, even if you already participate in our Energetic Business Breakthrough Workshop, show up again for you. And you're going to notice that you're going to get the information at a much deeper level. You're going to shift how you think. You're going to shift how you show up in your business, and especially your energy. I've been in business. I've been working with Akashic Records healing for over 20 years. I've been functioning as the Akashic Records Institute for 7 years, where we shift from, 101. I had more like a boutique business before. And then 7 years ago, we shifted to teaching and mentoring. And one thing that I can say is your energy, your attitude, and your mindset, you will determine what you experience. There is no other way. So, and there is all these techniques out there, all these strategies, and you see, some people have great results with techniques and strategies, some people don't. And what is the difference is how you show up. What is the difference is how you are judging or not judging yourself. Right? Of course, if you're judging yourself for every single tactic that you do, if it did work or didn't work, you're going to sabotage yourself. But if instead you show up consistently and you're always aware of your energy and clearing what is not yours and clearing those old triggers, old interpretations, you will get massive results. Start with your attitude, your energy, and your mindset. All right, so I am very, very excited for what we're going to bring for you. Let me know, hashtag I'm excited if you are. I want to see you. I want to see your energy. And let's talk about the pros and cons that you need to know in order to make the decision to have your business in 1 language, 2 language, or whatever you want to do. So, and as I shared, I learned a lot my business was not in two languages up until 7 years ago. So 7 years ago is when I founded the Akashic Records Institute, and I also founded the Instituto Registros Akásticos in Brazil, and then we work, with everyone that speaks in Portuguese, right? So in Brazil, we speak, all the trainings are in Portuguese, and here through the Institute, all the trainings are in English. So in Brazil, we have a big audience in Portuguese from Brazil, and also big audience from Portuguese from Portugal. We have some clients from Africa and some clients that are spread around Europe and United States that speak Portuguese. And here in the Akashic Records Institute is anyone that speaks English from United States and from all over Europe and Asia and all over, literally. I believe we have a client, over the last 7 years, we have over 5,000 students, I believe a little more since we did the launches this year, and in both languages. And today, I would say I love that I created the structure that I have today, that I am able to support those that are in alignment with my work, those that are ready to have their life transformed by my work in two languages. Today, I'm very happy. I've always been happy. I'm a happy person. However, there were times of up and downs in the different areas, in the different languages. And my intention here is to open the curtains and share, good, bad, it is what it is, and to help you to make the decision that will make more sense to you. And there is no right or wrong decision. Absolutely, that is not. And Canada, of course, all over. Yes, Canada, Europe, Asia, United States, Brazil, everywhere. And I love every single one of you. One of the things that I love about working in both languages is the exposure to different cultures, to different ways to see life. I believe I am a life learner. I learn from life. I learn from seeing people's experience and from being in contact with my clients, my students, and it helps to have this broader perspective, this broader vision, that sometimes it's all interpretations. And it's very, very interesting to work with all different cultures, religions, and ways to see life and see what is important for different people. I believe that this work that we do, it goes beyond religion or politics or all of that, because we talk about basic human connection and basic ways to see life, and it's all about how you see and the choices that you make based on your interpretation that not always is the truth, right? So I absolutely love working two languages. That's one of my pros is that I absolutely love working two languages. I would not have any other way. Yet there were different seasons that I went through. And there were times that you're going to have to support one language depending on what stage of business that you are in your business. And that's just the way it is. So my story is, before 7 years ago, I had a spa, like a brick and mortar here where I live, where I've been working with both healing, craniosacral therapy, and Akashic Records for 20 years. And I had a lot of people working for me. So it was really like a functional, brick and mortar business, and which was going on since 2012. So from 2012, that's when I went online. So between 2012, I had both the brick and mortar and online, boutique business only in English, working with coaching my clients with their relationship with money, and also doing branding with their Akashic Record, the business of the Akashic Record. So it was a business focused on healing, Akashic Records, and strategy, which is still what I do today, but it changed a little bit in 2014 when I decided to go from having a boutique business to a more like groups, trainings, and certifications, and everything that we do today. At that time, I had a trip to Brazil, and one person that used to follow me, she was Brazilian, but she used to follow my lives in English. I wasn't doing anything in Portuguese at the time. She invited me to, she had a space in Brazil, and she saw that I was teaching Akashic Records in English, and she invited me to teach for her group. And it's almost like the business in Brazil almost grew like magically, organically. It was like very fast, a lot faster than the business in English. So I had that training for 20 people, and then from there, those 20 people start telling everyone about what they learned and the transformation that they experienced in that training with me. It was like a 2-day training, and then it just started, and then people started, I want to take a training with you, but I'm in Brazil, I cannot go to Los Angeles, and I'm like, I don't even teach in person in Los Angeles, and so like I'm like, there was a lot of people, and I'm like, okay, let's do a certification in Portuguese, and then it just started growing naturally. And at the time, it was just me. It was just me. Today, I have a beautiful team of 12 people, growing, still growing, always looking for the right DNA to be part of, in alignment with our values. But today, we have a team of 12 people, and at the time, it was just me, right? And then I started looking at, okay, I'm gonna do now a live in Portuguese, and I'm like, well, I guess I gotta create a Facebook in Portuguese. At that time, there was no Instagram, there was Facebook and maybe Twitter, but I never got much around Twitter. So the work in Portuguese came out of responding to the need, right? And the work, everything that I did in English came out of putting energy on it. And what is interesting that in this experience, as I start, moving forward, starting like, 7 years ago, just me, to the team that I have of 12 amazing people today, everything came out of necessity. And again, I wouldn't say that every single option I did was the best one. Today I have a completely different way to look at, and that's what I wanted to share here on this live. A little bit of what I did and the pros and cons to do the way I did it and why I did it. So one of the things that really helped me in the beginning, because for the reason that is the biggest pro for me from having the business in 2 languages, is that I pretty much, 7 years ago, I was pretty much starting both businesses from scratch. In English, I had no business in Portuguese, and in English, I had a boutique business. For those of you that don't know what a boutique business means, basically, I had a 101. I was offering a 101 high-touch offer, which is something that we teach for Legacy Accelerators. It's a 101 high-touch offer where I would work with the client for, at the time, I think it was like 6 months, and I would work both with, helping them with clearing the energy, and we would work exclusively by connecting to the soul frequency of their business. And then my background is marketing and graphic design. So from that, I would create the whole branding and marketing for the business. So it was a boutique business, high touch, high dollar, that I had only a few hands of clients, because of course I was doing everything. I only could have about 10 clients at a time in that business. And most of those clients and people that knew me were like, please teach us your method of accessing the Akashic Records, which is the method Soul Matrix that I still teach today. And then out of the necessity, I started teaching basically, the Soul Matrix method of accessing the Akashic Records. And at that time, I was in that stage of business, I would say stage business 2, because I had the boutique business that was able to support growing 2 business at the same time, right? So when you think about growing a business, you need to think about money. You need money to invest. You need to both invest in coaching so you can, learn the right strategies and, know how you can go around instead of take 10 years to get to where you could go. A coach, working with a coach, no matter who the coach is, you will help that, to shorten that path, right? So, and that is one of the reasons of my success. I always highly invest in growing myself through coaching, through trainings, to everything that I could get my hands on that was aligned for me. And that is one of the things that it will determine. Because if you're not in the mindset to invest in yourself, to invest in your business, how do you expect that someone is going to invest in you? It's like lack of integrity to have that thought, that thinking, right? So I am very fortunate that I had that thought from the beginning. So what I had at that time, so I had my brick and mortar, right? And I also had my boutique business. And then the boutique business started investing to grow both English and Portuguese. So it was very interesting that I would spend, 7 years ago, I think, and my budget was like very little for Facebook ads. So those are the good times, right, guys? So I remember, like, I would invest like $100, and I would, invite my followers in the Portuguese language to a webinar to invite for my Akashic training, and I'll invest the same $100 in English, and then I would have like 3,000 enrollments to watch the webinar, and I would have in English 300 enrollments, and I was like scratching my head. I'm using the same language, I'm talking the exactly same things, I am the same person. So I could not figure out. I never compared myself with others, but I also compare myself with the two languages. I was like, what was happening here, guys? And it was very interesting, and it really got to me, and it was just my energy and my attitude and how I was showing up. It was very interesting. For me, I had my beliefs that, English was my second language. So I had a lot of, I would say, like, mindset and beliefs about not being good enough because my English wasn't good enough. But it's through showing up and through being consistent that I had the biggest lesson in my business years, is that when I actually embraced, while I was being concerned myself, while I was being self-confident about the way I was showing up in my English and not knowing the correct grammar, which I still don't. So while I was concerned about that, those that are showing up, those that are, signing up to my trainings, they didn't care, right? And then, so I was the one that was creating the separation in my mind. And when I really understood that, and I shifted my mindset in how I was showing up in every single language, I was no longer, worrying about the numbers. I was no longer worrying about what people would think or not think. And I was just focused on, I am showing up before I would go in the lives. I'm showing up. And if I show up and I impact the life of one person, I'm on purpose. And guys, no matter what you do, no matter what language you wanted to start or continue, or whatever is your particular scenario now, if you just get this from this life, it will change your life. Because your attitude, if you show up in a live, that is not enough people, because I just, I would show up for a live in Portuguese, and at that time that the algorithm in Facebook was another world that is today, right? I was like, 3,000 people would sign up, 3,000 people would show up in the live, right? So I had this live, I would be like just coming out of a live with 3,000 people, and then I'll do a live in English, and I'll be like 3 people in the live, like, but then again, that when I shifted that, it didn't matter if it was 3 people or 1 person, because I really understood the power of the work that I can deliver, no matter what the language is. And by showing up that way, I attracted people that honored that. I was attracted people that were looking for that. And I attracted people also that had 2 languages, and that, both, right? And just by showing up that way, I inspire others too. And that's why in Legacy Accelerator, we actually took a look this past week, and we had, I would say, like 80% of the members we have that we support in a mentoring program, the Legacy Accelerator, are bilingual. And it really comes down to, by participating in the Legacy Accelerator, receiving all the healing sessions and all the trainings that, mindset and training that you get, you start shifting that for yourself too. Because when you really understand that is your energy, is your attitude, that you cannot ever look at numbers that Facebook give you because that's just what they decide to give you. It's not necessarily is true. There are people watching, and there are people absorbing your energy and the way that you show up, and that's what's going to determine the results that you get. Every action has a reaction. So no matter how many people show up live to your lives, or when you're starting in a particular language, please listen to that. It's your consistency, it's your energy, it's your heart, that's going to determine the results. And so many times I do lives, and then I have people that never comment in my lives, and then they wanted to work with me, but they are not the people that comment in their lives. Not everybody comments. And that's what you really need to understand, that no matter that your group has one person, 50 people, 2,000 people, that means anything, just mean numbers, right? But when you show up in the right energy, when you deliver what you're here to deliver, your love offer with heart, there will be a result. There will be a lot of people that will be wanting to work with you, but that's going not necessarily in your timing. I have people that follow me for 3 years until they are ready to invest in themselves, and then they see a huge result. But that's where people are. You cannot look at these immediate results and determine your value, and determine if that is working or not working, right? So this is, as you go into, if you're thinking about have a business in 2 languages, those are basic rocks to have it in place, is to check in with your energy, check in with your heart, why you're doing what you're doing, why you wanted to work in 2 languages. Because it will, and because the cons is it will take more energy, it will take more of your focus, you will take money. It costs money to make more money. It's just basic math. And that is something that you have to consider in order to make your decision. So I want to share a personal story, which was very, very interesting. And again, leave your questions here, because I will go through all the questions that you have. I know that it's amazing questions coming in. I don't want to get distracted from my thought process. So I'll share a personal story. I will not say names, but I will share a very personal story that it was a big wake-up call for me. And I believe it was like about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was mentoring with an amazing person. I was doing a high-level mentoring. It was a very big investment. And in that 1-year mentoring that I participate, my coach invited someone that has a very successful business. That person was charging like $5,000 for like a 20 minutes conversation or something like that. And then, he came in, I don't know what she did with him, but he came in and he was doing, we were 7. He was a very high level mastermind. And he gave for the 7 of us an insight. So we brought a business, and at the time I had a lot of courses. So I put all my courses, and then I had the courses in 2 languages. I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of energy. I can do it. Yet, it was a lot. And he gave me an advice that I completely understand. And I would, I do think it's a very valuable advice if you're looking only at the money. For me, the work that I do goes way beyond money, right? And my love is bigger than the result. And so that advice did not work for me. It just didn't. And his advice was, well, Patricia, you have to stop working on your one language. Just choose. And then he's like, if I were you, I would stop working in Portuguese, because, dollar conversion, you're making less money per sale there. So his advice was like, just stop working on language. And I did not take that advice. I could not take that advice because, again, it's way beyond the money. So I did a conscious choice to continue diffusing my focus, diffusing my energy, diffusing my time, and selecting the money in order to continue be able to give the gift that I give by my work in both Portuguese and English. And I am very grateful I did that decision today, because I have an opportunity to, as we go to the ebbs and flows that every business have through, if we go to a lower flow in English, we can focus on the upper flow in Brazil, and then we can keep moving forward. When we start offering our Legacy Accelerator mentoring, which was back in June of this year, I made the choice to bring my focus in the lines of lives. Right now, we do 3 lives in English, and I do 1 live in Portuguese, right? Because 3 lives takes me about 3 hours to deliver. And if you're going to put the number, if you're going to do 3 lives in Portuguese, it will be 6 hours. So on my, depending of my plan for the next quarter, I will determine where I'm going to put more my energy. Yet the solution that we have, because I have a team that can support me, even though I'm doing only 1 live in Portuguese, my team is selecting past lives and they are broadcasting at the same time. So the community in Brazil is still having a lot of opportunities to grow and expand with our lives until they are ready to go deeper with our trainings. Yet my energy is not diffused that much. So when you get to a place where you can support both languages, things can go more smooth, right? Now, January of 2021, we are going to offer a higher training in Portuguese, and I'm probably going to bring a little more energy there. And we, my team is going to support the other lives in English, for example. So everything has ebbs and flows, and understanding that, and understand there is only one Patricia, I need to be aware, to be very strategic of what I'm going to do with my time today with the business, in the stage that my business is today. So when you are considering, you need to put those things in place. So if you participated in our Energetic Business Breakthrough, you learned on day 1, there I go to an in-depth class on the stages of business. So if you don't know, like right now, we're going to just brush it up. If you haven't watched that training, our next Energetic Business Breakthrough starts this coming Monday. So make sure to sign up for it, because it's like, it's mind-blowing. It's really going to shift how you hold I see so many people sabotaging themselves because they're doing things that are not in their stage of business. So when we talk about the pros and cons that you need to know in order to build 2 successful, or 3, business, bilingual businesses, you need to be very aware of the stage of business that you are in, the current business that you are, putting your energy on. Because in the beginning, every beginning, you're going to put more energy, you're going to have to put money, that's just not other way, right? So, and they have to be consistent too. So for a while, again, sharing with my story, for a while, I financed growing both business because I could. You need to understand where you are, what do you have available to finance the growth of the second language, of whatever it is that you wanted to focus on your business. So if you watch the training of the stages of business, I'm just gonna a short review here. If you are at stage 1, that means if you're making less than 3,000 a month, for example, what you need to do is to create a high touch offer in 1 language. That's my advice, and again, you take it or not. But if you're just starting out, focus. You only have 1 business right now, focus on move from stage 1 to stage 2. Get yourself as quickly as you can from stage 1 to stage 2. Stage 2 is when you're making more than 3,000 a month, right? And then you can get part of that to invest in your business. So the biggest mistake, if you are under 3,000 a month, is to focus about creating a website, growing a group, because all you need, if you're working on high touch offer, you can create a high touch offer. This is something that will help you to create in the Legacy Accelerator. You can create a high touch offer, create a $3,000 offer. You sell 1, you move to the next stage. You did it 1 time, you know how to do it the next time. So you need to think very strategically and focus your energy in attracting one client instead of trying to worry about growing a group. None of that. Attract one client that will generate the 3,000 a month, right? Let's say you attract one client this month that is going to bring the 3,000. Next month, you repeat and attract one or two clients that will pay 3,000 for, whatever your high touch offer is. It doesn't have to be 3,000 a month. So it's about putting, thinking the right way, having the right strategy, and start with growing that consistent income that you're making 30,000 a year at least, so you can start investing back in your business. And then when you are in stage 2, you're going to strategically see how much you're going to put in back to your business. So think about the stage of business and take action. Give yourself. I like to give myself the carrot, right? So I am focusing my 100% all my time, in attracting my first 3,000 client, my high touch offer that you want to work with someone for, like, let's say 6 months or whatever that is. And then you do it again. Those consistent actions. Listen, consistent actions, right attitude, right mindset. That's it, right? There is no magic formula. There is no magic tactics. Everything is, numbers, conversion. If you talk to 10 people, if you have a phone conversation with 2 people, you probably, if you know how to do that, that's something we teach again. If you talk to 2 people, you convert 1, you're good. So if, 10 conversations may get you 5 clients if you are in the right energy, the right focus, right? Everything's focus. So think about that. The first thing is to think about the stage of business that you are, so you can support growing the business in the new language. The next thing to consider, the pros and cons, is consider your focus, right? If like right now, for the longest time, I had the exactly same offers in Portuguese and in English. Right now, our offers are completely different. Right now, we offer, for Brazil, we offer the Soul Matrix method, which is a training that teaches you how to work with the Akashic Records and create a business, a boutique business, focus on serving your clients with high touch offer with the Akashic Records. That is the training that we have in Portuguese. We do have this training in English. Yet in English, we also have the next level, which is the Legacy Accelerator, that teaches you how to work with groups, to scale your business by going from working one-on-one to start, leveraging groups and, scaling and working with many people at the same time. That is what you learn. It is the next step. We don't have that training in Portuguese. So what that means is our lives are not the same. So if I'm going to create a life, if the trainings are different, and for many of you, you may have to structure a business like that, right? Right now, Brazil, anytime I do in Brazil, the dollar in Brazil is $1 is equivalent of 6 real, which is the Brazil money. Right. So if you work with different countries that have a different financial structure, depending what you're offering, you're going to have to make different offers. Right. There are the way, the way that you show up in the different languages is going to be affected by what you charge. So in Brazil, for example, our enrollments we have, like, when we do let's say a launch, we have over 100 enrollments. So it justifies the price to be different because we have a huge enrollment every single time we launch. And because of that, we have to have the team supporting that. So you got to think about, sorry, my phone is going to ring. Let's just stop that. Okay. So you got to think about that, like the language that you're talking with, what are you going to charge? And so how you're going to structure your business in different ways. So this is definitely something to consider. And of course, if you are, depending on your country that you work with, it may be that by working in English, you get you to charge more from what you get from a different country. So, and again, it's all going to differ, and it's also going to differ how how's the structure of each offer, right? You got to think about the money you need to invest in your business in order to grow your business. And the amount that you invest is going to have a return depending on how much you invest. It's what you put out in energy is going to have a return depending on how much of your energy you put. However, everywhere you put your attention, that will grow. If you're putting your attention in what's not working, that will grow. If you put your attention in your vision, in what you're creating, and have consistent action, and be on the right energy, that will definitely grow. But it's going to depend on you. And that is very, very important. No matter if you're doing one language, two languages, three languages, you need to understand that basic, basic, whatever. And the consistency will make a huge difference. Okay. So now I'm going to go through the questions that I have, and then we go to the questions that are here live. So happy you're here. And make sure to put your questions now so I can go through every single one. I'm going to go from when it started to now. So the question from Nora: how can we financially support our starting business in English? So Nora is starting. She wants to start. She already have a sustainable business in her language, and now she wants to go into the English market, which it is a very smart idea. So she's asking, when we wanted to launch and needed to grow our audience, we also needed to monetize something that to cover the expenses for starting the new English business. Absolutely. And what if that is your intention right now? My advice, the strategic advice here would be, you already, I know you have memberships, so in your main language, right? So you wanted to create a high touch. My suggestion is create your high touch offer in English that you can start, because you're going to start, right? Got to start somewhere. So if you start in English and you create one high touch offer where you're working with a client, one-on-one support for, let's say, 6 months, one client that you attract this month is going to cover your advertisement for the month in order to grow your group, and put the other strategies that you learn with us in practice to continue growing your group. So in Legacy Accelerator, for example, that is training in how to do Facebook ads. Marcos, my superstar rock star that does all my ads, he does office hours for our members, right? So focus on the training that teaches you how to create your high touch offer. Do the strategies to attract the high touch offer. Remember, talk to 2 people on the phone. You will convert one if you are having the right conversations and talking to the right people, which is something that amazing Jennifer, that teaches copy and connection, teaches every week. She also have office hours, right? So here, the strategy that I suggest is to focus on start selling your high touch offer, getting the consistent 3,000 a month, and putting that back into the business, putting that back into grow your group. So you'll be ready to do your first launch, let's say, with your group. Okay. Nora, if you're here live, let me know if you have questions about that. Then we have another question: how to manage your time so you can show up enough for both audience. There's a question from Carol Polly. Thank you, Carol. This is a colleague of mine in another training and participating. So, and then she has another question, plus that's a great question: how to run the back end of the business, the bilingual team. Great question. So first question: how to manage your time so you can show up enough for both audiences. So here you have to be, and everything that I do in my business, I create my goals for the next 12 weeks, right? So depending of what is my strategy and my 3 goals for the 12 weeks the 12 weeks ahead, I will determine how I'm going to manage my time, right? So for example, the last quarter, that's when we roll for the first time ever the group mentoring program, which is the Legacy Accelerator. Legacy Accelerator started in June. So my last quarter all my focus and attention was to grow our audience in English, because that is the language that we teach that program, the mentoring program, right? So how I manage my time is like right now I do 3 lives. I kind of shared that before, right? I do 3 lives a week in English. So which is like I do every Sunday, we'll open the energies for the week. Every Tuesday, we have our Akashic TV 101. And then on Thursday, we have the Energetic TVs, which is today. So I'm only doing the Sunday lives in Portuguese, opening the energy for the week, which takes 10 minutes of my time, about 10 minutes, 20 sometimes. And in English, about the same. Those lives, the Akashic TV and the Energetic TV, takes a little longer depending on the subject. Today is a bigger subject, right? So so this last quarter, that my focus was the new training, the new mentoring program, which is rocking it, and we are continue growing, expanding every single launch. So my focus was this. So what we did is I did 1 live in Portuguese, and my team selected my best lives from the past, and they edited and they broadcasted live twice a week. So my audience in Brazil is still having the connection and the contact that I want to have, which is 3 times a week. They have an opportunity to learn and expand the consciousness. It's not all live, right? And then I can do my lives in English. So that was my choice of how manage my time. This quarter now, we are still continue that, because I'm going to Brazil in 2 weeks. So I am not doing as many lives then. So right now I'm pre-recording some of the lives, especially now this first month of this quarter that's coming up. My focus is pre-record a lot of lives so we can continue be connected. And so that is a structure that is changing right now. And of course, my focus is 100%. Even though I will be in Brazil, I will be workation. So I will continue supporting 100% my mentoring clients from both Legacy Accelerator and the Soul Matrix method. But I'm not doing as much lives because it's a different structure, right? So I manage my time depending of my 12-week goal, right? So because we're going to be abroad for 6 weeks in Brazil, I have to restructure. We are doing a lot of pre-recording now, so I can have more time for my workation. So the next question that Carol had was how to run the back end of the business, the bilingual team. So right now, I'll share what the structure that I have. There is a lot of changes happening in my team. We are always looking to grow our team and to expand with the right people, with the right energy, aligned with our values. So right now we have Ross that does our project management in the English division, right? So Ross do not speak Portuguese. She speaks only English. Most of my team, pretty much everybody in my team, in the 12 team members that we have now, understand English. Either they speak well English or they understand, right? So Ross is the only person in the team that do not speak Portuguese. There are other members understand Portuguese, right? So we have Ross. She does a project manager. We have the amazing Cine and Sarah, who is here. This is a hashtag, yay, Cine and Sarah. Cine and Sarah does a beautiful support for our training programs, Legacy Accelerator, the Soul Matrix method, and a beautiful Facebook group. They are the community managers here in the Facebook group too. So that's how we structure the support they give it to us here. Then in Brazil, we have a bigger team. In Brazil, we have Michael that does all our marketing. We have a few freelancers that support us. We have Zeni that does some freelancing in our social media. We have the amazing Jennifer that teaches in the Legacy Accelerator and also does our blogs. We have Marcos, the amazing Marcos. All of us are amazing. That does our ads and the office hours for the ads training in English. We have Paula, Soninha, and Marcos that does the same thing that Cine and Sarah do, but in English. And we have the beautiful Ligia and Camila that works with, connecting with interviews and social media too. So it's 12 people that to support, create, to everything that we bring for you. So I choose to put that focus on energy because I know that they will support our business to grow, and especially our clients, right? So it's important to understand, so that's pretty much like what we have in our back end. And every person in the team have that the 12 week go to of what area they're responsible to grow and to expand. So that's basically how we structure the back end of the business in team regards. Now in what you see regards, we have one website in English, one website in Portuguese, we have one social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, one for each language. And a lot of people mention that nowadays, most Facebooks, you have the translation. If I type something in English, your Facebook is going to show up as I made that type in Portuguese. So that could help those of you that wanted to have separate, the same social media. But I chose not to do that because I do a lot of lives. And a lot of people in Portuguese, a lot of my followers in Portuguese do not speak English. So that creates a problem. For example, my personal profile, I have friends both English and Portuguese. So when I post, sometimes there is an issue that I post an invitation for my group in English, and a lot of people that speaks Portuguese try to join the group, not understanding the language in English, and then they come to the group like, can you translate? No, we cannot translate. That is a group specifically in English. So when I make an invitation in English now, I have to say, if you don't speak English, please do not join this group. And so the same thing with Portuguese. So because of, and then I would, at the past, I would do a live in my personal profile in one language, and then a lot of people will come in other languages, like, can you speak in my language? And that creates this disruption, distracts me. And also people get upset because, I'm not going to show up to the live anymore because in another language. So because of that, I try not to do lives in my personal profile. I do all my lives, in the specific language, and that makes it easier for me and for everyone else. Like, yay. So that is how the back end. And if you have any other specific question about the back end, feel free to comment below. If you're live, if you're not live, I have in the description the link to both profiles for Cine and Sarah. Send them your message because that's the best way that I can make another live for you. Then we have another amazing question from Faye. She's asking, do you translate the training's content or do you create new ones based on different culture market? Depends of the training. One thing that the best restructuring that I did in my business is stop to do like little courses here and there. Either you go to fit in and join our Legacy Accelerator or our Soul Matrix training, or you don't. And that is, we no longer offer little, courses here and there. There are some on my Etsy, but that is not, home study. But if you want my support to be with me, you need to be true fit in and then receive the support that takes, in order to really support you to grow your business or to create your Akashic, offers. So basically, if it's the same training, that, like, for example, the Soul Matrix, there is a very similar training. We have the manuals, we have videos in English, and then someone translates that, Ligia translates the manuals for Portuguese, and then I do the videos in Portuguese. So I do create the two videos, but the manual, I create one, then goes to proof editing, and then goes to translate to the other language, and then the manuals are created. If there are different trainings, I'm only going to do like Legacy Accelerator. We do not offer Legacy Accelerator in Brazil, so we only have to do in one language. The other question is, do you have one social media for both languages? I already said, no, we don't. We have 2 social medias for each language. So it's 6 social medias because we have 2 languages instead of 3 social medias. Then there is a comment. My travel blog is bilingual. The pro is that I have international audience. The downside is the workload. Absolutely, if you're doing 2 languages. But if you're not doing videos and you have a blog, I believe that there are plugins that you can put in that can automatically translate. Although it doesn't really translate, correctly in my experience. So we chose to have 2 different sites. And again, right now, I'm very glad we did it because the offers are completely different right now. And there was a question for Nicola. She was asking how the social media handles, which I did. And now that Nicola has a new niche, she's switching to English. So I would say that what the advice I they will support you. Then there is a question. I tried to run a German and an English at the same time. Unfortunately, saw that it was very time consuming. Yes, it is. And again, it's a choice. Your love has to be bigger than your fear. Your love, it has to, otherwise it won't work. And not only in creating a bilingual business, but any business that you put your energy. If I don't, I know it's not the case, but it is time consuming. It is. There is no way to sugarcoat. To business, it is double work, but if it's in your heart, then it's worth it to doing everything. For me, it's not work. I absolutely love to be here with you. I love to coach my mentoring clients. I love to create training. It's just, I love this. So for me, it's not work. So it depends on how you see what you're doing. That will determine how you show up, and obviously is going to determine your results. If your energy is not there, if your heart's not there, to do the work necessary to create, to grow, it's a choice, right? So absolutely, it does take. Yes, it will take, and it's your choice. And again, the advice I received was stop one language, and I said nay, no. Sorry, thank you, but no. That was my choice, right? It has a lot of sense in the advice I received. I understand that, but it's a choice. For me, the support that I can give to my beautiful community in Portuguese, if I don't show up, if I don't deliver, they're not going to get it because they don't have access to all the trainings that I did, to all, to the way I show up, to what I bring in. So it's a matter of, I know what I teach them can make a difference in their lives. And it's much more important than the money that I make. So I made the choice to continue showing up, to doing the work necessary to grow the 2 languages, to show up every single day, to do a live, even when I was like super tired and I didn't felt like doing. For me, the love for my community and those that are here is much more important than the amount of money that I'm going to make. That if I'm going to make more money because I'm going to focus all my money in one language. Of course, if you get if you're going to do a business, or doing a business in 2 languages, you're going to divide the income. You could put all the income in one. That will make that one grow faster. But it's a choice again. And I chose to show up for both, to bring my money, my energy, and in whatever is needed to grow the business. It's, again, you choose at the end, right? So then the next question was Jasmine, wondering offering my service in both languages right now. It's a good idea. So Jasmine she's also my Legacy Accelerator client with Spanish. So she does Spanish, which is very similar to Brazil, right? Brazil, it's dollars 1 to 6. Spanish, I think dollars 1 to a lot more, right? I don't know how much, but and then you are starting. So Jasmine is in stage 1 in English. So again, my advice for you, Jasmine, is the same one. Let's get you to move to stage 2. And then you're going to have, and again, create a 12-week plan, guys. Put that be your priority. My priority is move from stage 1 to stage 2 to make consistent 3,000 a month. You do that with a few clients. If you know how to create, a high-touch offer, do a high-touch offer, 3 clients. Then you get that money and invest to grow the other language as you continue supporting those 3 clients. Because otherwise, it's going to spread you too thin if it's the beginning of your business. I highly recommend choose one language, not choose one language forever, choosing one language to grow your high touch offer. And it's very little effort, one-on-one conversations. You get 3 people to do your high touch offer for 3 consistent months. Start investing in Facebook ads, in your time, in your energy in the other language, right? So the best strategy, the way that I noticed many times through the ebb flows of my business, there were times that I would focus in English, there were times that I would focus in Portuguese. And so I believe that really helped to create the ebb and flow. It doesn't mean that, there is ways that you can continue showing up in the other language without putting all your money and attention. Just follow the energy, your design, and the ebb and flow of your business, okay? So because I believe, especially in your case, you can have high touch offer in English and then do groups things with what you're learning with me in Legacy Accelerator. You can do the group Akashic Clearance that you're learning with me for the Spanish, and then you can charge less because it's a group offer and more people can participate, and then you focus one-on-one here, and then start growing your groups also here when you create go to stage 2. Okay, now I'm going to go to the questions live. Let's see, guys, you have questions. Good to see you guys here. I don't see any question. I think we covered it all. Oh, there's a question from Sujata. My first language is French. When I speak English, I feel self-conscious and judgmental than when I speak French. Exactly, and it's normal. And then, but again, the interesting thing is a lot of, when I actually shared that, and I started sharing that in the past, a lot of my clients are like, actually, I love your accent, Prissy, and I love my accents. I totally assume today, like totally awesome. I love it. And I totally know how to use that to my advantage too. But a lot of my clients would say, I actually pay more attention in your guided visualizations because of your accent. So it actually helps my clients to go even deeper in their journeys, in their meditations, because I have an accent. So again, you can use to your advantage. If you're self-confident in one language, it's the way you show up, that energy is gonna spread out. If you're totally awesome with whatever language you are, you will attract people that are totally awesome and that actually appreciate that, like I do today, right? Oh, I love that. And Sujata said, that's why I'm part of the Legacy Accelerator. You took off the pressure. Yes. All right, and so I think that's all the questions. We are here for an hour, guys, so we're gonna close this live. If you have more questions, please contact the link is here in the description, the Facebook profile for Amazing Cini and Sarah. Let them know what your question is, and I'll be happy to do another live here. This was a great connection with you, a great live. I hope you had enjoyed it too. And remember, this Monday, we start a powerful 90 days together. We have the Energetic Business Breakthrough Workshop completely free. If you join before, come back. I know you're going to be able to receive even more because now you're ready to go to the next level to actually really receive. And we have the Akashic Clearings, healing sessions. I'm going to teach you techniques and surprises and giveaways. So make sure to join us. Cini and Sarah can help you to find the group. They can invite you to join us. And I cannot wait to see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.